What's up, guys? Just got a request to do a video about people doing like dirty tactics in MMA, and not necessarily on purpose, but the question was how much like stuff like a low blow, like cage grabs, how much they affect fights. And they affect fights a lot, guys. It just depends on the scenario. Obviously, every situation is different, but there's a lot of fights that people do grab the fence if they're about to get taken down. There's times that somebody is repeatedly low blowed in a fight, and it does play a factor. It definitely plays a factor. It depends on how bad the situation is, but this is something that's unavoidable. People are going to, sometimes even something as simple as grabbing a cage is not necessarily planned out. It's not like that was their intention, but in the heat of the moment, they got caught up and did it anyway. And if they don't get penalized for it, then it does give an advantage for sure. If they're on the verge of getting taken down by a better grappler and they grab the cage, then it saved them. It definitely saved them, and it could play a major factor depending on what time of the fight is and how the fight's going. If they're winning on the feet really bad, or it just depends on the situation, but they can be pretty bad. Low blows for sure can be very bad. Eye pokes, when people get poked in the eye repeatedly, all of this does play factors in fights for sure. You got to overcome, you got to adapt if you're the person on the receiving end of this. But like low blow, I would say it definitely will play a factor, and you need to take your time. If you get low blowed, it doesn't matter if the crowd is booing. It doesn't matter if people are telling you, hurry up, let's go. No, take your time. Lots of times, if you just take your time, it won't affect it as much. If you get a full 5 minutes, use your full 5 minutes. Let the crowd boo. It doesn't matter, because if you're able to recover the way you want to, maybe you're going to win that fight and they'll be cheering anyway. Maybe you'll knock the person out 2 minutes later, you know? You never know, but you do need to recover. You need to give yourself time to recover, because getting overwhelmed by emotions and going in there and just fighting 30 seconds after you've been low blowed it's not a good strategy. And your coaches need to be telling you in the corner, hey, take your time, take your time. When something like a cage grab or eye poke happens, hopefully your coaches are in the corner screaming that. If you're the fighter in the cage or the ring, they need to be in there. They need to be letting that be known that that's happening. Because refs are humans. Refs don't see everything that happens. As you get higher up in the organizations, the UFC, Bellator, Karate Combat, ONE FC, they have instant replays and stuff like that. So that definitely helps. But as a whole, most lower level organizations don't have instant replays. So it's up to your coach to keep an eye on these things, because they do happen. They happen, oftentimes they're accidental. I had a kid the other day fight in a smoker kickboxing tournament where it's amateur, shin guards, big gloves, but he got kneed in the face 3 times. Now, I will say this, the first time or two, I do think it was an accident, but I still screamed and I still yelled, and I was like, hey, he's kneeing him in the face, which is an illegal move for a smoker tournament. These are kids just out there trying to get fights and experience. They're not pros. They're not even close to being pros. They're learning, and that shouldn't be happening, but it does happen because people get overwhelmed by emotions. They panic, and they might not even mean to do it. I do think maybe one of them was on purpose, though, for sure. By the time we hit the third time the kid did it, and I made that very clear. I was in the corner screaming, that's the third time he's kneed my guy in the face, and I was yelling at the ref, and they took notice of it, and fortunately it didn't happen. And again, after that, unfortunately, my student didn't get caught clean with that knee, because it wasn't in the rules of that fight that you could throw knees in the face. So every situation is different, but it definitely plays factors, guys. If this stuff happens, you need to be aware of it. You need to make sure your coaches are calling it out in the corner, because you as the fighter complaining, it looks bad for you sometimes, unless it's just like blatantly obvious, right? But if you're a lower level or regional circuit guy, amateur fighter, pro fighter on the regional circuit, you're not going to have instant replays, and you're not going to get the benefits of being in a big organization and having those things fix the problem if no one saw it. So make sure your coaches and your anybody cornering you is paying attention, and they're very vocal about what's going on because that does influence the judges, that does influence the referees when stuff like this does happen, especially if your coach will call it out for sure. Hey, he's grabbing the fence. He's that's a low blow. He's sticking his fingers out when he's leg kicking. He's poking eyes and stuff. So something to think about. These things happen. You can't prevent them, but you need to be aware of them. You need to address them. And if you get injured, you get your eye poked, you get kicked for a low blow, you need to take your time, guys. Take your full 5 minutes. If you get 5 minutes to recover, take your time. And you should know deep down if you need to hurry up or not. You should know, hey, it really wasn't that bad. I don't want to fake it too much, or hey, it's really bad. I need time to recover. But do what you need to do. You're the one fighting in there, guys. Don't listen to the crowd. Don't be influenced by any of that. Just make sure get your recovery time, and you can turn the fight around if should something like that happen to you. All right, guys, let me know any other videos or y'all like me to go, anything you'd like me to go over in some new videos, and leave any topics you want me to discuss or anything like that. If you're looking for martial arts school, get my book, Your Ultimate Guide to Choosing a Martial Arts School Instructor. The link is in the description below. All right.